Deep two, yes. Drives it for the corner.
Pull up, three. Good.
Step back three. That's a good shot for three.
Stepping through off the window, good. Stepping through the raindrops and the finish on the right hand.
And Edmonds going the Boomers' way with back-to-back threes. The Boomers, a WNBL chance.
Centre in Canberra. Lauren Jackson returns to Canberra to face the Capitals for the first time in WNBL 23 as they host the visiting Southside Flyers. Liam Ellison here alongside me is WNBL Championship winning coach Lauren Chiswick. Laurie, welcome for a big arvo of hoops.
Thank you, Liam. I'm very excited to be here. We're looking at these two teams. Both of them have come off losses, and both have come off those losses 8 days ago. So it'll be interesting to see how their form is. They haven't played each other this season, but as you mentioned, most importantly, it is the return of Lauren Jackson.
2,894 days since Lauren Jackson last played in Canberra, the club where she really had her most famous WNBL stint, of course, winning the championship with the AIS, and then going on to win many with the Capitals as well. The last time, Laurie, that she played here in Canberra was the 18th of January 2015.
Well, you think back to then and you think of the type of player that she was. And now at the age of 41, coming back this season, we still see glimpses and she's of what she could do back then. And she is really having an impact for not only her team, but for the league.
Certainly is, averaging 16 points per game on the season. Of course, had a big outing as well in that last contest against Perth in round 5. So that was a massive performance from her and showing what she could do.
Absolutely. I think she actually, she made the difference in that game. What she brought to the table and the way she scored and the timing of her score was really prolific for her.
Kristen Beale as well, coaching the Capitals. Of course, former teammates with LJ. They won the famous 1999 championship together at the AIS and then went on to win 3 more with the Capitals. So nice little storyline there too.
Yes, Kristen Beale will know her very well. She'll know her strengths. She'll know her weaknesses. She'll know her mentally, what she's thinking about. But what a great storyline that is, the two of them going against each other as coach and another player.
Capitals coming in, still looking for their first victory of WNBL 23, undergoing some roster changes, early days.
Well, with Canberra, you can see their starting lineup there. Jade Melbourne, the last game, she had 12 points, 10 assists, and her leadership was really important out there. Swain's in good form, had 15 points. And I really like Nicole Munger. They brought her into the lineup. She's getting better and better and will certainly be important in today's game.
She will be. Let's have a look as well at the Southside Flyers. Couple of omissions here, Laurie.
Well, there is. Their starting lineup is still very set. We know Maddie Rott, she's in great form. She had 18 points her last game. Thornton, 21 points, 3 from 5 from the three-point line. And we
here in the nation's capital, Sunday doubleheader, a couple of ripping games here. LJ returns to face the Capitals for the first time in her return season. Of course, you speak of Maddie Rocci just before having herself a career year. Now, her 6th WNBL season, Laurie. She's having a career high in points and assists in the last 3 games, averaging 19 and 5 times.
What a great time to come, play your best basketball. And I'm sure she's relishing playing with the likes of Thornton and Jackson as a point guard and being able to get them the ball. But these two teams, on paper, again, you would think that Southside should dominate this game. But we know that Canberra have certainly, in the last couple of games, had much better results. Whilst they've been 2 losses to Adelaide, they lost by 10, and Sydney by 12. Certainly, it's much better than their first 4 losses, which were very heavy.
They've closed the gap, that's for sure, after some heavy losses, like you mentioned last week. Very competitive against Sydney, who shot the lights out from 3 to come away with the victory. They come now. Munger will be in the starting lineup once again, as will Kimberly Harmon, who started against the Flames at 13 points, 6 to 7 shooting, and 5 boards, Laurie. So playing an important role in that front court. Here we go. Just about underway. Melbourne and Jackson embrace. 2
Come on, Canberra.
Flyers coming in. 4th on the table. Capitals 8th. Button and Jackson to take the tip. And LJ wins it down for the Flyers. Cole. Back out to Jackson. First triple goes up and in.
You cannot start a game better than that. One for herself, and you know, even though she's on the opposition team, I'm sure the fans in Canberra are glad to see her back out on court.
Perfect start to the homecoming. Flyers with the first points on the board. Swain cutting to the rack. Here's Munger. Top of the keyway. Bunton with the pick. Melbourne will step into a triple. Hits back heel. Bunton on the O-glass. Won't go.
They really need Bunton as an inside presence there on the glass, making her presence known.
Oh, with the read, LJ couldn't quite finish. Capitals get the first stop. Melbourne driving baseline, needs some assistance. Finds Munger in the corner. Swain to reset, 10 on the shot clock. Bunton with the screen. No good on the mid-range, Jay. Moving it forward to Cole. She's off. In transition. Good late contest from Swain.
Well, that's probably the last 2 times down the floor. First with Lauren Jackson, then with Beck Cole. Baskets that they normally make her that you would expect them to make. But you can see the intent of the Southside Flyers to get that rebound and push the ball up the floor. And we know that they have runners in the likes of Beck Cole and Sarah Blitzov.
It's one of their strengths. No doubt about that. Maddie Rochi as well. Another of those players who are great in transition. Here's Munger. Into the front court. Turnover. Thornton didn't let it run out of bounds. Southside ball.
So that was just that little extended pressure by Thornton where she was just almost faked that she was in the passing lane, and so the player moved and then caused that turnover.
So Blitzarf's to inbound. Fresh 14 for the Flyers. Rochi runs straight into Melbourne, playing defense.
Great defense by Melbourne, keeping Maddie Rochi in front. Now we see Canberra running the floor.
Just poked out of bounds by the Flyers, trying to find Bunton.
She would have done better just taking it herself, going up strongly, but Harmon.
What can the Capitals come up with here? Rochi poked it away. Last touch, Canberra.
I like the defense of the Flyers right now. They're up and in, active hands. We saw Maddie Rochi get a deflection, caused a turnover, and they need to do that. The Flyers need to continually work on their defense. We know how potent they are offensively. It's how can they go defensively.
Thornton driving on Whittle Harmon. Class from Thornton. Leading the team in scoring, 17 points per game. Here's Whittle Harmon. Munger, top of the keyway, in the corner. Now the Flyers the other way. Rochi backs it out. Thornton for 3. Right back at you for the Southside Flyers.
Well, that's going to be a fan favorite if they can keep shooting at this sort of rate. Both teams, they're in for a good afternoon.
Shanice Swain. Whittle Harmon. Foul call. Offensive against Whittle Harmon.
Just trying to create some space where there wasn't any space there to create. Thornton did a good job of being right up in her.
She'll take a break. Here's Beck Pizzi out there as well for the Capitals. Rochi, running point guard. Hands it over to Thornton. She'll fire again. Same spot. Not that time. Swain pulls down the rebound and goes herself. Nice pass inside. Bunton just under the backboard. 3 ball goes up.
It was a great push by Swain.
Cole again looking to push the pace. Swain corralling. Stays with the home side. Rochi to inbound for the Flyers. Here's Thornton. Not that time. Long rebound falls to Munga. She'll pass straight away to Bunsen in transition.
That's a great basket for Capitals. That they need that easy, something easy, so they're not playing in the quarter court all the time.
Jackson spinning. Won't go. Busy hit the deck. Great defense from her. Melbourne. She'll opt to slow it up. What's next for Jade Melbourne? Bunsen with the screen. Driving left on Jackson. Nice take.
Jade Melbourne has improved so much in her decision-making coming off an on-ball screen. She just baited the defense, kept it in her hands. Read Jackson, went after her, didn't have a second thought. And there we see another nice drive to the basket by Sarah Blitzoff. Strong.
Flies into double figures. 4 minutes into this contest. Here at the National Convention Centre. Poked down by Rochi. Shanice Swain driving into the keyway. Rochi with the steal. Moves it ahead. Blitzarves. Extra pass. Cole. Good D. Stays with the Flyers. Izzy did well.
She did really well because she had two players in Beck Cole and Sarah Blitzoff streaming down ahead of her. She just held her ground and waited till Cole went up and made a good stop.
17 on the shot clock for Southside. Beck Cole. Now on the low block is Thornton. Gets her shot away off the window.
Nice little step back.
Melbourne. Now Bunsen wants the handoff to Swain. They'll reset the Capitals. Driving left is Melbourne. The seas parted.
Well, that's just way too easy.
Cole the other way for the Flyers. Foul call.
It's one thing to want to run the floor, but they've got to make sure that they're getting some stops, the Flyers. That just, as you said, the seas open there, and Melbourne just had a straight drive to the basket. Not a defender in sight.
So Cole will have 2 shots for Southside. 71% free throw shooter on the season. Started all 7 games for Southside so far. The first one drops. Two from 2 for Beck Cole. Rich Smart into the ball game as well for the Capitals. Here comes Nadia Potch as well. Comes up with a steal straight away. Nice dime. Rochi was there. Get some extended minutes today. Potch with a couple of outs for Southside. Diving on the basketball there was Burrell. Did really well. Melbourne straight ahead. Again in transition. This time it's busy.
There have been a lot of transition type baskets, Liam, so far this game. Both teams are going to have to, tighten up on the D-trans.
Poked out of bounds. So Potch to inbound. Rochi. Top of the arc. Burrell went under the screen. Here's Blitzarves. Busy was there. Stays with the Flyers.
Pizzi did a great job of not turning around and doubling Blitzarves, but just hedging down it and getting her hand in there.
So Ray Burrell coming off the bench today for the Capitals. Not in uniform last game against the Flames as Blitzarves for 3.
3 points.
The team's leading scorer, Laurie, averaging 14 points per game. So a big addition to the lineup today.
Certainly is. They needed her. They needed... Oh, thought that was a travel.
A near travel on Smart. Just kept the toes on the floor by the looks. Here's Melbourne. Great take. This time on the right hand. Rochi directing traffic. Carly Ernst as well, inserted into the ball game. Thornton, big screen. Rochi probing inside, not quite. Melbourne along the baseline. Again Canberra, push it And Carly Ernst with the block. Hodge the other way for the Flyers. 3.5 remaining first quarter, stepping through off the window. Won't go. Bunsen again, controlling the glass.
It's a frenetic pace, the start of this game, the first 7 minutes.
It's been up and down. Here's Britt Smart. Chance to slow it up for the Capitals. 6-second shot clock. Burrell, fade away two. Back heel. Bunsen again. Falls out to Smart, just rules out. Bunsen, no, this time reward for effort on the O-glass.
Sometimes you just have to be in the right place at the right time. I think she was sort of surprised that it fell right into her hands.
And offensive rebounding has been something the Capitals have done really well this year as well, Laurie. Sitting 4th in the league for offensive rebounding percentage. Thornton looks to take Bunsen off the dribble. Good defense. Home crowd getting involved here at the National Convention Centre.
I have to say that the Capitals are doing a good job of protecting the paint. Anytime there's penetration, they are there. They are swarming defense and have their hands straight up and have caused a number of stops or turnovers.
Plenty to like if you're Kristen Veal. LJ straight back out there from the dime.
And then there's
From
LJ.
Conti.
How do you stop that coming out of bounds play?
Melbourne, frenetic. Potch pulls it down. What's ahead of her? Monconti can slow things up. Just a short break for Jackson. Straight back out there. Again, big screen from Thornton. Jackson from the top, won't go. Britt Smart has it for the Capitals. Whittle Harmon with the screen. Dumps it down low to Whittle Harmon. Good defense from Jackson. Burrell off the dribble. Nice move. Draws the contacts.
That right there, Liam, just shows how athletic Burrell is and the way she was trying to get herself to the basket there.
She'll head to the line where she shoots 82% on the season.
Timeout call on Southside.
And a timeout on the floor. Minute 44 remaining here in this first quarter.
Big thank you to our
Of course, this timeout is brought to you by CTM Sport. If you're considering travelling interstate for a tournament with your basketball team, consider CTM Sport for a competitive, innovative travel solution that puts your team on top. Visit ctmsport.com.au to learn more. So the Capitals, I feel like they've given their fans plenty to cheer for early on here, Laurie.
They have, and I like what they're doing out there. I like that they're not taking a backward step. Right now, if you look, Southside are being very physical out there with, they've got Jackson, they've got Thornton, we know the strength of a Blitzhoffs, and so they're not backing down at all. They're really taking it to them as well, and both teams are getting some, transition type baskets, some easy baskets. So to me, it's who is going to really lock down defensively and not make life easy for the other team.
Has been a frenetic pace so far in this ball game. One of the big stories today is Jackson retakes the quarters, who return to Canberra, where she had a storied career in the WNBL. Interesting to see during the week in the media, she admitted it was a tough decision to sign with a different club, obviously with such a connection to this Canberra lineup.
Well, I think when you win championships with a club, you've got great chemistry with Carrie Graff, who's involved with the Capitals, as we know, and Kristen Veal, the coach, and all the fans that were there. She spent many years in Canberra and very successful there, so I'm sure it was hard, but I think ultimately it came down to her family and what was best for her and the boys, and Southside was the one. Southside were the lucky ones that got her signature.
Yes, absolutely. Extremely lucky to have the signature of Jackson. Here's Conti. The midway line. Melbourne in defence. Burrell was there for Canberra. Teammates swarmed the effort.
Coming up for the Flyers, Number 1, pick
6-point ball game here, 90 seconds remaining in the first period as Borrell will take a break.
Capitals number 6, Shanice Ray.
Maybe she's under limited, minutes coming off. We're not really sure, but coming off an injury.
Conti loses the defender, puts up the 3 from downtown. That's going to be a contender, Laurie, I reckon, for one of the plays of the week.
That was a nice little step back.
Here's Munga. Looking for some movement. Bunsen rolling to the rim. Munga in mid-range too.
I like that when players come off that on-ball screen and are looking to score straight away. Not necessarily with a drive, but that pull-up jump shot.
Conti again inside the keyway. Another bucket falls for her.
We talked about it that last time out. Who's going to start playing some great defense out there?
Munga, see if Southside will do that just here. Little Harmon down low. Bunsen fading away. Little short. Conti controlling the rock for Southside. Hands it back to Cole. Shot clock just ahead of the game clock. Jackson's there with a pick. They double immediately. Moving it on to Conti. She'll fire, might have been just inside the arc. Doing well there on the O-glass was Georgia Pinot and draws the foul.
That's not really what Capitals needed, just a foul right on the end of the quarter. Just give them a chance to extend this lead.
2 free throws for Pinot. Second game this season that she's appeared in. No good on the first. So Pinot takes care of business. That'll do. The end of the first quarter. 10-point ball game. The Southside Flyers 27 lead the Capitals 17. It's been a frenetic up and down opening so far, Laurie.
Well, it has, and as you would expect, the Flyers are in front. We know that it's going to be a battle for Canberra, but I think what Canberra need to do is try and limit the fast break points, so that means defensive transition. Pick them up a little bit early, if possible. It's not easy with that group. And then offensively for them, just make sure that you're shifting Southside. Make sure they're having to play some good defense out there.
Leading so far in this one, Kayla Thornton with 7 points for the Flyers. They're 4 of 6 from long range Southside. I'm going to cheer for if you're the Capitals here in attendance today. Homecoming of Lauren Jackson. Hasn't been a happy hunting ground for the Southside Flyers since they rebranded in 2019, Laurie. They've had just the one win in Canberra. We know they've been an extremely strong and successful club in the last few years. Some of the stats on your screen now as well. Rebounding has been the strength of the Capitals. Alex Bunsen in particular, I think, has controlled the paint.
And she needs to. She's done a good job of that, and they need to continue to crash the boards. As you mentioned in the call, they're a good offensive rebounding team. But Southside, 67% from the three-point line. That's something that they're doing a great job with, and they need to continue to do that. And it's something the Capitals will have to be aware of. They'll have to close out long, get a hand to those shooters and make them put it to the floor.
Second quarter, just moments away here. Pinot will remain in the ball game to start the second period. Radio Potch as well. Of course, reinforcements coming for this Canberra team as well, Laurie. Alison Swagmeyer-Belger, who is in the country, ready to suit up for the Capitals in the coming weeks. We know she's had quite a successful stint as a WNBL import with Perth Lynx and the Sydney Flames, so it's going to be a big addition to this team.
Oh, it certainly will, and we were hoping that she'd be here for today's game, but hopefully in round 7 she'll make her appearance. But she's coming from Serbia. She's played a bit of time in Serbia, but she is just a great, hard-nosed, physical, tough competitor that I think will really help this Capital side.
Kristen Veal wrapped with that signing. Melbourne down low to Whittle Harmon. Created some space. Good finish.
Good perseverance by Whittle Harmon. She saw that she had Cano on her and didn't sort of get phased by that and went up strongly.
Conti. Nice shift at the end of the first quarter for her. Jackson. Hands it off to Poch. Single-digit shot clock. Cole. Pinot for three. Just won't go. Last touch, Jackson.
Spacing wasn't the best on that last play phase, I didn't think, by the Flyers. They just needed to have a little bit more space so they can look at their driving lanes and their inside presence of Lauren Jackson. Great steal by Beck Cole. Great hand in there.
Another opportunity for the Flyers. Pinot rolling to the bucket. Poch. Hits back heel. And again, Whittle Harmon cleans it up. Melbourne. Averaging just under 5 dimes per game this season. 2 games now since returning from that ankle injury. Had 10 assists last week, Jade Melbourne. Here's Poch using that length in transition. Finishes it off.
Good anticipation by Poch. Just was hanging back and read the flight of the ball. Was able to get those long arms involved and come up with that beautiful steal.
Southside in transition. Capitals looking for the response. Trying to trim that lead. Melbourne spinning through traffic. Here's Conti. Cole moves it along to Poch. Comes around the screen. Poked out. Last touch from the Capitals.
Back on for the Flyers, number 6, Kayla Thornton.
There's that steal again from Nadia Poch.
Yes.
Great display of defense. Shot goes up and in for the Flyers. Beck Cole. Munga back out there for the Capitals. Conti on the rebound. Launching on offensive. Jackson. A little short there.
I'm sure you want to leave Lauren Jackson free on the trailing as a trailing 3-point shooter.
Munga. Now Bunsen provides the screen for Melbourne.
So the Capitals moving it quickly through Whittle Harmon. Extra pass, Bunsen won't go, but she's drawn the foul in the process. Much needed from the Capitals to stem this momentum.
Personal foul number 2, Nadia Poch.
Alex Bunsen at the free-throw line. 61% shooter on her career. 4 boards so far in this ball game, 2 blocks already.
As I said, she's got to really stand up in this game against the likes of Thornton and Jackson.
Big job for her. And she goes 2 of 2 on that trip. Brocci. Thornton moves it over. Capitals looking to apply some pressure. Personal foul on Munga.
I liked how after that foul shot that the Capitals were pressing up at least a little bit. You know, making Melbourne have to think about it, not being able to just walk the ball up the floor and call a play.
Into blitz-offs. Straight back to Rocci. Flyers moving it through some hands.
In the zone right now.
Rocci will put up the 3 ball. Southside's hot shooting continues. 5th triple of the ball game as a team. Bunsen backs it out to Smart. 2 of the leaders for this young Capitals team. Top of the paint, and Smart makes it.
It's a nice pull-up by Britt Smart, but there we see the answer straight away from the Flyers, just pushing the ball. Thornton running the floor straight to the point of the rim. Beautiful finish.
No surprises there as well, really. Timeout on the floor. You'd have to say transition.
Cygnett.
I'm sure it will be. It's hard because they've got such an advantage with the rebounding, and Thornton just was able to leak out there.
This timeout brought to you by Cygnett, of course. Our partners here at the WNBL. Just stay connected with the latest news and social highlights. Keep your favourite tech charged up at home or on the go with Cygnett's extensive range of charging products and accessories. A big thanks to Cygnett for powering the WNBL with high-quality tech this season. Explore their range at cygnett.com. Cheryl Chambers and Kristen Veal, chance to address their players here. 13-point margin in favour of Southside. Seem to have just controlled the first 3.5 minutes of this second quarter.
They have, and I think that's largely to do with the likes of Thornton. What a great pickup she's been for Southside this year. She's averaging 17.3 points per game, which is 6th in the overall competition. She's had 3 20-point-plus games, so she's really significant. A couple of double-doubles out there, and she can score in different ways too. She can punch it in. We could just see her running the floor there. She can shoot the 3-ball. She's shooting that at 44%. So great pickup for Southside.
They are great numbers. 45 from the field, 44 from 3. You just get the feeling that, you know, it was a team that didn't have so many scoring options already. She could be putting up even bigger numbers.
Absolutely, but that's the beauty of this team is, you know, they've got 5 of their players, all their starters, on the average scored in double figures.
Impressive depth. Capitals with a rock. Foul call against the Flyers. First personal on Cole. Swain to inbound. Here's Munga. Swain on the wing. Pizzi back out there on the low block. Bunton, long way from home. Smart rips through, draws the foul on Rochi.
I don't mind that foul so much. Just watching all of them as the ball was passed around Southside, they were up and they were into their players. They had good split line help. Maddie Rochi just a little bit too close, didn't move her feet laterally, but at least they're up and in, and they're trying to be a little bit proactive.
Here's Munga. One of the standouts last week in that game against the Sydney Flames. Just miscommunication between Bunton and Melbourne. Rochi pushing the pace on Melbourne. Gets past, goes herself, nearly went. Thornton on the O-glass, backs it out. Carly Ernst for 3. Long rebounds, and Rochi's chased it down, did really well. Ernst into the corner, Blitzars for 3.
That is perseverance by Southside, especially Maddie Rochi, throwing her body on the line to save that ball.
Great hustle from Maddie Rochi. Capitals now trailing by 15. Bunton, handoff, deep triple for Smart, just off. Thornton moves it on. Beck Cole wants the pick. Carly Ernst. Now they switch it over to Thornton on the opposite block. Backing down, Munga has the size.
So great read by Thornton. She knew straight away that she had a mismatch. She directed the ball to be swung to the wing on her side so that they could make an entry pass. And she just backed her down and finished.
Flyers having a great 5-minute period. Melbourne passes over to Smart. Right in the shooter's pocket.
Yes, that's exactly what they want to do. Good drive, receiver spot. We know Smart loves that corner 3. Very proficient at it.
Much needed for the Capitals. Blitzars backs it out. Ernst straight away dribble.
What an answer with that. She does not need much time to get that shot off.
One of the league's elite 3-point shooters, no doubt about it. Southside, meanwhile, improved to 7 of 12 from 3 in this ball game. Melbourne backing down Cole. Good contest, better finish. Melbourne again using her length at the guard spot to finish in traffic. Thornton.
We forget sometimes that Jade Melbourne is still only 20 years old.
Phenomenal as Rochi finds a gap to the hoop. Already one of the star guards of the league at such a tender age, Laurie.
Yes.
Here is Jade Melbourne. And such a leader as well. Starting the set on this occasion for the Capitals. Pizzi backs it out. Triple. Falls for Caps. Munga makes it rain from the 45.
It was just a nice little two-man game, little pick.
Rochi. She'll go herself from 3. Just off. Bunton's there.
Not sure I'd be going under the screen on Maddie Rochi. She's going to pull up and shoot that, 90% of the time.
Pizzi from the top now herself. Over to Rochi. Flyers whipping it around. 3 minutes to go before the main break. Ernst, handoff. Here's Blitzarves to the hoop. One to come from the line. Tough take.
The Flyers right now are really playing team basketball. They've got 10 assists already, but what I like about it is they're reading each other. It doesn't matter who's scoring out there. They're setting each other up. They're happy when anybody scores. It's real team basketball.
Blitzarves today. That's 10 points, 4 of 4 from the field. Make that 11.
Back on for the Capitals, number 22.
Now inbounding, here's Smart. Need a big final burst before the halftime break. You'd think the Capitals. Turnover, Conti just puts it out in front of Rochi. Extra pass to Ernst, Capitals got back. Now Rochi, pump fake, creates space from the baseline. And Ernst just spikes it back out for the extra possession. So Ernst and Jackson, top of the key. 2 3-point threats, turnover.
Right idea, and that Jackson would have had Melbourne on her.
Smart, loses the defender. Try to find a teammate. Crafty play, Burrell back out there, short on the triple. Bunton again. Muscles are to the inside for another offensive rebound. Alex Bunton today, 6 points, 6 boards, 4 of which have come on the offensive glass. Blitzarve steps into a triple of her own. Bunton just stepped on the line. So it'll stay with the Flyers. 14-second shot clock. Conti will inbound. Timeout on the floor. It remains a 15-point lead in favour of the Southside Flyers, Laurie Chiswick.
Well, when you see that the Southside Flyers are shooting the 3 ball at 53%, 7 out of 13, you know it's going to be a hard day at the office. That combined with the way they are running the floor and getting some fast break points out there, putting pressure on the defense straight away. It's a big ask for Canberra. And they're one of the top teams. Currently they're 4th on the ladder, and they have lost a couple without Jackson and Thornton playing. So we know they play really crucial roles in there. But I think everybody assumed at the beginning of the season that the Flyers would be up there, would be in that top 4 position and challenging. They've got great depth, they've got great height, they've got great experience.
Certainly on paper they are right up there as a contender. A team that's had a few injuries so far this season, some inconsistencies in availability night to night, but with the depth they've got, they've still found themselves in the top 4 here at this early stage.
I suppose my question mark with the Flyers is when they're playing those teams, teams in the top 4, how does their defense hold up? Right now they're sitting 4th in defensive, averaging 79 points a game against them, and averaging 79 points their own in the offensive end. So to me, that's the question mark for them, is how can they contain those Townsville, Melbourne, Bendigo.
Rochi. Inbounding for Southside, finds Jackson. Tried to go again, tapped out, last touch by the Capitals. Another opportunity for the Flyers here. Rochi in the corner, down low to Jackson, great extra pass. LJ with the dime, Rochi with the finish. Smart, foul call on Conti.
That was virtually the same foul that was called on Rochi against Smart. As Smart's getting the ball and she's looking to rip and create a bit of space, they're just up a little bit too close.
Veteran IQ from Brit Smart. Melbourne picks up her dribble. Hand off to Smart. As Jackson defending her, Rochi switches over. Burrell puts it on the deck. Step back two. Nearly fell as well. Bunton was there applying the pressure. And Capitals with the basketball.
I like what I just see in the corner of the screen, that when that ball went out and it was the Capitals ball, that whole bench was up cheering. They're down 17 points, but there's still a lot of energy on that bench and for the team.
Certainly a club that has energy regardless of the results on court. Brit Smart to the rack.
Great positioning of her body, Brit Smart, just to get in front of Conti on that out-of-bounds play. And a nice finish.
So less than a minute now remaining before the main break. Smart just getting around Rochi there on that inbound
Sorry,
play.
yes, it was Rochi, not Conti.
Conti gets it into Rochi. Here's Jackson. Extra pass down low to Jackson. Takes her time and finishes. Jackson up to 7 in the ball game.
They are executing very well, the Southside Flyers.
Now across to Smart from the opposite wing, won't go. Hits back heel, Burrell's there. Just stayed inbounds. Whittle Harmon got around one, Bunton backing down Thornton. And 2 shots coming up for Alex Bunton.
Alex Bunton, to me, has really battled hard in there so far this game. She's on 6 points and 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, but every time down the floor, defensively or offensively, when she's trying to make position, when she's trying to keep her player behind her back, as we saw there, it's a battle for her. And she's doing a great job.
She's had a great first half. Averaging 9.6 boards on the season. 24 minutes of game time. First one drops. Taking care of business from the charity stripe today. 8 seconds for Southside. Maddie Rochi. Got to make her move. Shot's got to go up from Cole for 3 to finish the first half. So that does it. 52, the Southside Flyers lead the UC Capitals 37. And the 15-point margin favours the visitors, Laurie Chiswick.
Well, considering it was 10 at quarter time, to 15, the Capitals did some good things there to stem the flowing a little bit. But, give Flyers full credit. They have got every single aspect of the game covered, whether it's fast breaks, whether it's rebounding, whether it's their three-point shooting, which they're shooting at 50%, or executing as a team. They look at the complete package today.
They certainly do. 7 of 14 from 3. Thornton and Sarah Blitzarves lead the way with 11 apiece. Very efficient first half from Sarah Blitzarves as well, Laurie. We've seen 14 minutes of action, but it seems like 4 or 5 from the field. Every shot that's gone up has gone in for her. Jade Melbourne with 10 points for the Capitals and 3 dimes. We'll be back very shortly with the beginning of the second half here. Southside just controlled that second quarter, you feel. Bit of a ways back now for the home side.
Well, I think they would go in with a little bit of momentum, not so much momentum, but confidence that they can stick with them, that, you know, they don't want to let this margin blow out. So they'll go and talk about some different things in the halftime break, maybe ways they can be a little bit more disruptive defensively. But we see here Thornton just backing down her player. She's just so strong, and certainly that first half, she brought a lot of different elements to her game as well.
Up and down openings of this ball game in particular, a lot of transition points. Tightened up a little bit in that second quarter. Capitals controlling the glass, but Southside from 3 have been electric. It's a 15-point lead to the Southside Flyers. Stick around, the second half here coming up very shortly.
We've got our awesome team of waters to help us return these balls. Girls, one of you over this side, one of you stay that side, so we can get the ball back to as quickly as possible. You want this to be smooth, you don't want to hold it up. Are you ready? On your marks.
Pop over the top, Nelson Adoda for the finish. Shot the firepower if they can get hot. Nelson Adoda now works on Roof. Nice finish. Reset. George, Nelson Adoda versus McSpadden.
Reed Samuelson has been hot from deep, and she continues that for Samuelson, who's been hot from this range. She has an open look, and she knocks it down all nylon.
Rolling with the screen. Driving on Bunton, reversing, it's good. Heel from the wing, on the low block. Working on Whittle-Harmon.
Doing that, just a touch over 5 assists has been nice.
Jackson from the top. Hands it down low, working inside, little short. Scherf couldn't come up with a rebound, and Jackson takes advantage.
Griffin at the other end, in rhythm, knocks down the triple.
We didn't see a great offensive rebounding presence for the Lightning after that shot attempt.
Kelsey Griffin breaks the drought. Griffin goes to work on the inside, spinning and banking it off the glass.
Prepare your taste buds.
Hungry?
Famished.
For 6 delicious nights on 9.
Prepared to replicate the snack.
Australia's best chefs. Head to head, recreating our most iconic snacks.
I think I stuffed this up.
Get it together. I know you've got this.
It looks like salt and pepper calamari.
New Snack Masters. Stream the latest episodes on 9 now.
You know they don't teach MPI schools how to get the money shot.
They're undercover.
What are you doing?
That is how you get the money shot.
Cracking cases.
Nothing says I'm stalking you like a hidden camera.
The old-fashioned way. Jason Priestley.
Are you nuts?
It's a rental.
Private Eyes. Stream complete seasons on 9 now.
Do not underestimate the power of a good blind. Take this exhausted couch. Now it stands before you. Magnifique. Even this cocktail of dead skin is gracefully waltzing. Da 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 da. DIY blinds. Change the ugly.
You ever get that feeling that one choice could change your whole life?
What if you chose passion?
And what is it that you want to do?
I'm going to be the next Billy Joel. Guy can dream, right?
What if you chose family?
You saved a man's life.
Your dad would be proud of you.
What if you chose love?
Can you believe we made him?
At least we did one thing right.
It's only natural to wonder what if.
Ordinary Joe. Stream every episode on 9 Now.
I have a family that I have to get back to. The wait,
Gavin.
is over. And I know that's something that you understand. Welcome home. We're being hunted.
More sinkholes are coming.
How deep?
Let's go!
Does the mystery go?
Imagine, I'm so excited to be offering virtual masterclasses this school holidays with She Hoops. Starting on the 9th of January at 5:30 p.m. every Monday night. In this 5-week series, we will be delivering a range of basketball skills. I will also take you through a number of mobility skills designed to keep your body active and engaged. And the best part is that it's free. Go to shehoops.com.au to register now and secure your spot.
They donated toxic land to a school. Someone put it there, deliberately.
You said this case was unwinnable.
Don't make this personal. It's already personal. Dad, what happened here? There's something you're not telling me.
Burden of Truth. Stream complete seasons on 9 Now.
Creations
Attack that Lego.
will blow your mind.
That's a really great hip one.
Who will be Brixmas champion?
Deck the halls with something.
We have the world's best talent in our backyard.
Oh, excuse me, she makes it rain.
What she got in her bag of tricks? That's what she's got.
Watch them. Follow them. Who will come out on top? Cygnett WNBL starts November 2.
Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
Yes. Yeah? No. Many people. Oh, lots of people. Lauren Jackson? Oh, probably Lauren Jackson when I was a young buck. I don't know. It was always when I was younger. So I reckon Lauren Jackson was probably one, and now she's my teammate, so that's awkward.
Yeah, and now she plays in the league. Lauren Jackson.
Danny Green, when he played for the San Antonio Spurs, saw him in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think when I was like 12. Elise Penaluna? Yeah. CJ Bruton.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, a bunch when I was younger. Oh, anybody? I went to telethon a few times as a kid, so there was a whole bunch of like just Australian stars around.
Lots of people. Yeah, when I was little. I feel like basketball players. That's an awful answer. Oh, the last one I can remember is Delta Goodrum.
I reckon out of half the league I've got their autograph somewhere in my box. There's a photo, I was going through my old laptop and there's a picture of me and Amy Rochi. There's a picture of me and Sarah Blitzer from about 5-6 years ago when Danny Ong played in Trelgan. And like I'm holding a poster, no shame, I've got all the signatures.
Welcome back to the National Convention Centre here in Canberra for the Flyers and the Capitals. 15-point margin favouring the visitors at this stage. Liam Ellison here alongside me is Laurie Chiswick as the second half not far away. Some of the stats on your screen now, Laurie.
Well, one of the stats, Liam, that's not on the screen, which really interested me, was the turnover count. 10 for UC Capitals, but for Southside Flyers, only 1. So that's a massive thing, and that's something the Capitals, as a younger, inexperienced side, really need to take care of the basketball to ensure that they get a good shot down the floor every single time.
Southside have capitalised as well with points off turnovers. Nadio Potch with that steal and layup, one that stands out for the first half. Beck Cole as well has been pushing the pace, but you're right, 11 dimes to just 1 turnover as a team for the Flyers. Very good ratio. As we're back underway here in the third quarter. Jackson straight away with the bucket.
Now, that didn't surprise me that their first play of this half, they were going to focus on Lauren Jackson, isolate her down low, give her the ball and say, go to work.
Capitals move it over into the front court. Melbourne wants the screen. Bunton's there. To Munga. She drives baseline, reverse.
That's a great drive by Munger and a reverse layup. She had Sarah Blitzoff on her, who's, got long arms and is strong. Sarah just didn't get her feet across quite in time to get cover up that baseline.
Jackson just missing on the 3. Blitzarves, extra possession for Southside. Melbourne stays with Rochi. Great timing on the hands. Goes again. Southside ball.
Melbourne did a good job of navigating the screen, the rescreen, a rescreen again, and kept her body in front of Rochi and was able to almost have a turnover.
Nearly again with the deflection. Rochi for 3. Good defense, Canberra. Jade Melbourne, impressive player for this Capitals lineup. Impressive player in the Opal squad as well, Laurie.
Well, she was, and while she didn't make the Opal squad for that the recent World Cup, she was very much a part of it, and it just shows that her leadership, her being around those players, and then what she can bring to the Canberra Capitals this season.
Whittle Harmon might be waved off.
I think it was a shot clock violation.
Didn't hit the rim.
But she certainly has leadership qualities, and she's 4th in steals. She's 8th in assists, averaging almost 5 assists a game, as well as her own scoring prowess. She's averaging just over 10 points a game. So, and she's 20 years old.
Incredible. One to watch, no doubt about it. Beck Cole off the window. Whittle Harmon's there. Thornton wraps the basketball up. Jump ball. Favours the UC Capitals.
I think the Capitals would want to be going into the second half going, we want to make sure that we either win a quarter or we stay in touch. We don't, 15 points at halftime. Let's bring that margin lower by the end of the game.
Certainly showed improved form over the last 2 games. The Capitals looking to continue that and make incremental improvements week after week. Shanice Swain long 2. Jackson's there. Rochi. Handoff from Colt. Jackson comes across to assist. Rochi inside the key. Offensive rebound. Jackson. Melbourne again with the timing. She's run straight into Rochi. Did she have her feet set? Looks to be Capitals ball.
Yeah, I think that's a foul on Rochi. Just, still moving. In fact, Jade Melbourne wanted it unsportsmanlike.
Plenty of rivalry between these 2 competitors. Munga to bring it back in. Jade Melbourne with the basketball. Whittle Harmon there for the pick. Ops against it. Long range 2.
Great use of that screen. She looked like she was going to use it, then opted to cross over and reject that screen, and a nice pull-up jumper by Jade Melbourne. And how we see Swain just pushing the ball.
Bunton with the screen. Swain probing on Jackson. Unforced error. Thornton moves it forward to Cole. Deflection. Capitals with the stop. Swain gives it back to her point guard. Whittle-Harmon dives to the low block. Gets it down low to her big, spinning on the reverse. Timeout on the floor. Whittle-Harmon with the bucket.
It's exactly the way that the Capitals would want to be starting this third quarter. They've got a lot of energy. They've come out with confidence. I think they've taken the attitude, look, we're down by 15. We've got nothing to lose. Let's just go after them. And they've certainly done that and forced Coach Cheryl Chambers, to call a timeout.
Back to an 11-point margin. Capitals hanging around at this stage. Whittle-Harmon up to 4 points in the ball game. Jade Melbourne leads the way with 12. Nicole Munger with 9. Of course, this timeout brought to you by DIY Blinds. To fit out your home with Australian-made, designer-quality window furnishing at the best prices. Head to DIYblinds.com.au to order your free samples today. Just looking at those top scorers as well. Laurie Chiswick, Nicole Munger, who of course signed after the departure of Takea Cohen, had a big season in the NBL 1 East.
She did. In fact, she set a record for the NBL 1 all across the country, a scoring record of 53 points.
Gee.
That's big time. And she just got over Keely Frawling, who had scored 52 for Launceston in 2021. So those are massive numbers by some quality players.
Huge night, 53 points.
So we know she can score. We know she can shoot the ball. Doesn't matter who you're playing, you still have to put it in, and 53 points is a massive amount.
She slotted right into this team as well, like she's been here all pre-season.
And as you mentioned earlier, I think that the Capitals, they haven't had a fully fit lineup for a lot of their games, either one or two players missing. We know that Melbourne missed some, Smart missed some.
Extra pass, wide open three. Whittle-Harmon's there. Foul call Southside.
And so you feel if they can get their full lineup together with the addition of Schwagmeyer, Belger, you know, I don't think they're going to progress up the ladder to challenge for the 4, but I certainly think they can upset some teams along the way.
Absolutely. And this player right here, Ray Burrell, another reason why they can do that, obviously on limited minutes today, returning from injury, but we know what she can do here through the first 5 or 6 games of the season. Burrell inside the paint, won't go that time.
Isn't it great on cue when you're talking about somebody, then they drive it hard? If only she had scored.
It's handy, isn't it? Melbourne with the ankle injury a couple of weeks ago, like you mentioned, Laurie. Of course, Gemma Potter, that so unfortunately had that knee injury. So plenty of turnover for the Capitals, and they've done well in adversity. And haven't the fans as well, Laurie? I mean, breaking a membership record during the week too. What a club.
Well, considering, you know, their win-loss record right now, it's great to see their enthusiasm. You know, they've got a new coach in Kristen Veal, and you know, it can't be easy for her, but everybody's staying super positive.
Conti, a long-range triple. Hits back iron. Swain's there for the long rebound. Big screen from Bunton. Swain driving inside. 2 shots. And they've come out in droves today, the home side, to see the return of Lauren Jackson to Canberra for the first time in 7 years.
I like that drive of Swain. She wasn't taking any backward step, even though she was driving it on the LJ, the GOAT.
And it has been one of the stories so far for this Capitals lineup. It's seen increased opportunity for the likes of Shanice Swain. COE youngster, 12 points per game. Started in 4 games for the UC Caps this season.
Well, considering they were down 15 at the half, and it's now pretty much 5 minutes left in this quarter here, in the third quarter, and they've gotten it back to 8 points. And here we see a steal.
Burrell with the steal. Hits the deck. Capitals ball. Eight-point margin halfway through this third quarter. And you spoke, Laurie, of the desire to win a quarter. So far, they're doing that significantly here. After it was a 15-point margin at the halftime break.
And that's sometimes what you have to do when you're playing a great team like Southside, and you're not expected to win. Well, I don't know. Maybe we have to change our narrative here, Liam. How great was that shot? Now it's back to a 5-point game.
Two-possession ball game. Another call from the referee. Some pressure being applied to the Southside Flyers at the moment.
Maybe this home crowd can continue to lift the Capitals, as we certainly enjoying what they're seeing right now.
They're getting right behind their team here. Defense has ramped up a notch here in the third period. Conti, inbound from the corner into Jackson. Swain came across to help. Nadio Poch back out there. Driving inside the paint. She'll head to the charity stripe.
Southside have only been to the line. They've shot 4 out of 5 from the free throw line. So they haven't been there that much, but that's a product of also how well they're shooting the perimeter shot. They're choosing that over a drive.
Now 6 of 18 from 3, the Flyers. After obviously being lights out in the first half, it slowed down somewhat.
Well, they were 42%, 6 from 14 at the halfway mark. So it certainly has slowed down. And that can happen to teams. You can have a bit of a drought in your shooting.
Swain hesitates, turns it over to Cole.
Great defense by Thornton, forcing that turnover.
Forced her to the baseline, now down low to Thornton. Loses both, passes out of it. Poch converts. The smart play in the end.
In the end, that was a bit of pressure on Poch, given that she had a wide open shot underneath.
Yeah, certainly trusting your teammate to pass up a wide open layup. Now Poch again. Cole in the corner. Pump fake, goes herself.
Smart decision by Beck Cole. She got that ball. She just waited till the player closed out on her and was able to go around her easily to finish off that shot.
So back to an 11-point margin. Whittle Harmon. Burrell now for 3. They needed that one, the Capitals. Substitutions. Here's that Thornton play again. I have to think part of that decision-making is she trusts herself to control the rebounding opportunity if the miss came anyway.
I'm not sure. I was surprised she passed it out, to be honest.
Came off for the visitors. Here's Conti. Thornton driving on Pizzi. Thornton, big couple of minutes for her.
Oh, she just made that look so easy.
Powerful athlete driving downhill. Now Burrell tried to get around Jackson. Foul call on LJ.
The thing I really like about Thornton is her, well, you know, I'm going to say her inclusiveness of her teammates. She's come in as the, you know, as the import and is leading the team with points, but she's also got a great basketball IQ and works with her teammates. Defensively is great at rotations, you know, getting her teammates open, creating for herself or for her teammates, and she's an all-round player. And certainly we can see by that last passage how she includes her teammates.
A great pro, Kayla Thornton.
Yeah, calming influence on the team.
7-year WNBA starter, for the Dallas Wings. Burrell good from the line. Played just the 10 minutes of action so far today, Burrell, but she's been great so far in the third quarter. Comes away with a steal. Hands it off to Britt Smart. She's swarmed by the Flyers. Foul call goes against Southside. Seven points today in the ball game for Britt Smart. They came in with just the one turnover at the half, Southside. Capitals have been looking to change that in the third.
They have. They've really upped the pressure just with their hand pressure and trying to get some deflections and Southside just don't look as sharp as they did the first half.
Smart, no good on the first. Second goes for Britt Smart. Back to a 10-point ball game. Ernst. Now Conti. Some of the bench unit out there for the Flyers. Another step back three for Conti. Plenty of rebounders there for the Flyers. And Jackson cleans it up. Munga. Smart hands it to Bunton. Poch. Nearly came away with a steal.
Another steal like that other one.
Munga for three. Flyers with the basketball. Jackson. Down low to Ernst. Melbourne put Ernst under a lot of pressure. Did well. Conti. Trying to take Burrell off the dribble into the corner. Jackson fading away. Capitals with another stop. Trying to trim the lead going into the final break. Melbourne inside. Good defense, Jackson. Conti ahead. They've got the numbers momentarily. An offensive foul. Goes against Poch.
Great defense because, again, it was a 2-on-1 situation, and we can see here just held her ground outside of the charge circle.
Timeout on the floor, 12-point lead. Favouring the Flyers here. Capitals leading the quarter by 3 points. Flyers have 3 players in double figures, led by Thornton with 13. Jackson has 11. 5 boards as well in her homecoming. And Jade Melbourne, 12 points, leads the way for the Canberra Capitals, Laurie.
Well, Kristen Veal, as we can see on screen there, would be really happy with her charges and the way they've come out, the way they're winning this quarter. They've be talking about, you know, a minute and a half left to go. This is what we want to do. You can see the passion on Veal's face right now and what she wants to do and what she wants to get her players to do. And you'd have to give them full credit. They could have gone in at halftime and just gone, oh, this is all too hard. But they've come out and really showed their home fans what they're made of, and you know, it's still a 12-point game, and the Flyers are truly in charge here. But it's been good to see the way they've come out and the way they've approached the second half.
Got it back to a 5-point margin at one stage as well. The UC Caps.
That's the thing, when you play a team as good as the Flyers, you can get to that 5-point margin, and then Thornton, as we see, just did a couple of really significant things, and all of a sudden it's back to a 12-point game.
Yeah, it was back-to-back possessions, and it blew right out once again. Capitals, the minute 44 to trim this. Munga at the line.
Again, we always say if you can go into the fourth quarter, it being under 10 points, it's still anybody's ball game.
Certainly is. Sunday matinee here for your doubleheader of the Cygnett WNBL. Adelaide and Melbourne coming up after this one. Here's Rochi. Thornton. Top of the three-point arc, Whittle Harmon off the dribble, count the bucket.
She is so impressive, Thornton. Just her strength and her poise and her ability to control what her body's doing and absorbing that contact and going up strongly and finishing. So impressive. And then we know that if you close out too long to her at the three-point line, or don't close out long enough to get a hand up, she'll shoot the three and nail it.
Some player, 15 points, 7 of 10 shooting, and the free throw.
83% free throw shooter as well, so you don't want to foul her.
Extends the lead for the Flyers. Burrell. Now Munger. Driving on Ernst into the corner. Jade Melbourne for three.
Nice to penetrate. Munger penetration. Saw the defense collapse. Saw a wide open teammate in Jade Melbourne.
Capitals with their 4th three-pointer. Thornton, that's short. 8-point ball game. Capitals with the basketball. Chance to bring it back to a 2-possession ball game here. Melbourne. Man in the offense. Whittle Harmon, handoff. Burrell. Wants the screen from Munger. Drive straight through the middle. Melbourne hits the back heel. Unfortunate miss for the home side. Rochi, can they take advantage? Great pass. And Nadio Poch with the finish.
Just thread the needle there to Poch. Back to a 10-point margin.
Great read on the fast break. Shot clock ahead of the game clock. Jade Melbourne. Hands it to Smart. At the free-throw line, she'll back it out. Got to go, Melbourne. Steps into a three. That won't fall. So 5 seconds to work with for Southside. Rochi. Melbourne with the foul to give. That's her 2nd personal on the afternoon.
That was a good foul and actually a smart foul to take, because otherwise she was going straight to the basket.
Now just 1.4 to work with as well. Down to Thornton. She'll turn and shoot for Southside. That'll do it for the end of 3. The Capitals have cut it to a 10-point margin at the final break. 69 the Flyers, 59 the UC Caps. Plenty to like if you're Kristen Veal's team that quarter, Laurie Chiswick.
Well, we talked about just trying to win a quarter and or equalize a quarter, but they did a great. That was way more disruptive for Southside. We know how potent Southside are, that they can turn it around, but they held their ground, the Capitals, and you know, some fine plays by the likes of a Poch or you know, Thornton we saw did. Well, this still amazes me. I'm so glad Poch made that shot. But she's just, to me, she's just strength to strength, Thornton.
Jade Melbourne, fantastic as well in that 3rd quarter, 15 points. Kayla Thornton imposed herself on the contest, like you mentioned, Laurie. She's got 16 in the ball game.
Canberra did a much better job of taking care of the ball that quarter, and they're now at 13 turnovers and we're at 10, so that gave them the opportunity to get a shot up a lot of times down the court. And we can see by their percentages, certainly it's improved from the 3-point line. They were 22% up to 30 now, but they've been more they've thought about their shot selection a bit more, I think, Canberra. The only thing I would say is that I thought in those last few minutes there was a lot of standing around there, just a bit of fatigue. And anytime you do have a comeback, that can take a bit of energy out of you. So they'll really need to concentrate this last quarter. I think player movement, ball movement, keep Southside shifting, keep Southside having to play some great defense. And, you know, see what they can do, see if they can win another quarter.
See what momentum they can bring into the 4th period here. Capitals with a lot to be pleased with over the last few weeks in terms of their improvement. Looked shaky at the half. The third quarter, it's improved. I thought Ray Burrell as well, Laurie, was terrific in that third quarter. Had a couple of steals, creating looks for the Capitals.
She did. She played with a lot of energy. She came out, and that's what, anytime anybody that comes into the lineup, whether you're a bench player, whether you're a starter and have been sitting, you've got to bring energy and endeavor onto the court.
Fourth quarter just about underway. Flyers will start us off via Poch and Rochi. Jade Melbourne out there. It's been a great battle so far today, Rochi and Melbourne. Blitzarves finds Munger out of position, comes over to double. Foul call. So 2 shots for Sarah Blitzarves. Ten points on the ball game. First is good.
A few players have 3 fouls. They'll have to just be a little bit careful. Whittle Harmon has 3, Munger has 3, and Burrell has 3. So they're going to just have to make sure they play with their hands out, as does Rochi and Poch.
Melbourne running the set for the Capitals. Space provided for Melbourne. Thornton's there defending the ball. 6-second shot clock. Munger. Foul call on Rochi. Rochi was pushed into Munger. It'll go against the Flyers regardless.
That'll be her 4th foul.
Interesting to see if she sits here for Cheryl Chambers' team. Stays in the contest. In fact, now she'll be replaced by Monconti. Monconti's had some good minutes today off the bench so far, Laurie.
Well, she has, and looking at the spread of minutes for Southside.
Great pass inbounds to Whittle Harmon.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Great inbounds pass, as you just said. Good finish by Whittle Harmon, but for the Flyers, they've played a real even spread of minutes. Their starters about 20, 22 minutes, and then Carly Ernst and Poch and Conti have all played some good significant time as well.
Nice fadeaway too from Blitzarves. Melbourne trying to drive left on Conti, poked out. A 14-point ball game.
A good signing, Monique Conte. Especially in the light of today when Amy Rochi's not being able to suit up, they have that luxury of having just another great point guard.
It's a great point, Laurie. 3-point won't go for Shanice Swain. Rochi normally the backup one for this side. Conti a big role today in her absence. Poch. Cole hands it back over to Poch. She'll fire from 3. Blitzarves, extra possession, no, picked off from Melbourne. She'll turn and go, pushing the pace on Conti and draws contact. Melbourne to the 3-throw line.
That was explosive by Jade Melbourne. She just sprinted up the court with the ball in her hands. Good control. I mean, Monique Conti's quick herself. Good decision to take it right at her.
Melbourne putting together quite a handy afternoon. Her first trip to the 3-throw line. First is good. Two from 2.
Well, she's on 17 points now. Normally averages just over 10, so she's having a real impact on this game, as well as her 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Lot to like about Jade Melbourne.
So Canberra pressing out. Conti moves it forward. Cole. Now Jackson. Blitzarves picks up her dribble. Down low to LJ. She'll fade away from the elbow.
Not much Bunton can do about that. When LJ gets the ball in that position and turns around and shoots it, pretty hard to stop.
Down low to Bunton. Provides the screen for Swain. Just probing, couldn't find an entrance point. Now Bunton. Turn around Jay, no good. Blitzarves with the ball for Southside. Fade away 2 again for LJ. Thornton's there. Swain did just enough. What's ahead of the play now for the Capitals? In the corner, Munga wide open. Just won't go. So Southside can slow it up here. Find the right look. Conti. Now Cole. Inside the keyway. Then Burrell pulls it down. Over to Melbourne. Again, she pushes the pace. Melbourne coming in late was Munga with the one hand. Good follow on the rebound.
It is, you know, no, you're on a fast break situation. Jade Melbourne took it right at LJ, but Munger was there to clean up the scraps, and that's what you have to do.
Blitzarves, drives left, draws contact. Finding themselves getting to the free throw line in his second half.
Blitzarves has played a really smart all-round game today. Her stat line is really significant in her the way she's shooting, her percentage, the decisions that she's made, when to shoot it, when to pass it. She's got 5 rebounds as well. This will be her 15th point. Chance to go 16, an even level with Thornton, who has 16.
It's almost been somewhat of a quiet 16 given her efficiency. 2 from 2 there.
You're right, it has been. And that's, I think, with the Flyers right now in this game, is that nobody stood out like a superstar. So scoring, 20, 30 points. It's really been spread around amongst the whole team.
Burrell has to go. A little short. Ernst is there. Cole. Plenty of Capitals back in defense. Down low to Jackson. No good on the catch.
Again, that was Bunton putting that pressure on her. It was the right decision by Bet Cole to get it inside and to Jackson try and post up, but Bunton has done a good job.
Now Melbourne. Inside the lane. Now she finds an opening. Whittle-Harmon wide open. No good. Conti. Approaching halfway through this final quarter. Carly Ernst. Down low to LJ. Muscles her way through. Can't finish. Swain has it. Whittle-Harmon on the low block. Inside to Bunton. Nice pass. And Bunton will have one more at the line.
That was her determination. Just, she defended Jackson at one end of the floor and then ran hard, pushed to get into that deep catch there, point of the rim. Nice finish on the move.
Alex Bunton playing extended minutes today. 30 minutes so far in the contest. Normally plays 24 a night on the season. And converts on the continuation. 3 throw. Now Conti. Moving it around the Flyers. Blitzarves. Controlling this ball game at the moment. Bunton's there. Jackson did just enough. Comes up with a basketball. Disposed of the defender. But it looks to be an offensive foul drawn by Jade Melbourne, who's a little sore as well. Tough as they come, though, Jade Melbourne.
I was just thinking, I've been watching Lauren Jackson run up and down the court there, and you have to be so impressed at, this comeback that she's had this season, and she's fighting for the rebounds. And but the way she's been running, and she's played, 24 minutes, and she's still able to get up and down and be a presence inside and change people's shots, and the whole likes of it. And it's so impressive.
It's an absolutely incredible story, really, the comeback that we've seen. 3/4 of a decade, really, out of the game. And still starring on the biggest stage.
Well, she is. And, I read an article in the paper this morning about how after every single game, she stays and signs autographs of everybody that's there. And she goes, the team goes back in a bus and I Uber home, I Uber back later, because she, she's signing everything. She feels like she's had so much support. And such a class act to do that. And after a game, you're tired, and but she knows the fans are coming out in droves to see her and to see her play, and what a great ambassador she is for our sport.
You almost get the sense she understands the role that she plays in promoting the sport as well. A selfless act as Poch just lands in her lap, and she'll
there
waltz
you
in for
go.
two.
As I said, I think in Q1, right place at the right time. Different team, though.
Back to 13 points the margin. Jade Melbourne on the left hand, inside, won't go. So the Caps with a couple of missed lay-ins.
So it was a miss. It was a miss lay-in, Liam, but there should have been split line help there. There was no split line help from Southside, and so they've got to make sure that come the fourth quarter, that they're still in all their defensive rotations and principles.
Melbourne, 4 minutes remaining, approaching do or die time for the Capitals. Unforced error to Cole. Here's Conti. Now Jackson from the top. That's short. Thornton on the follow. Apologies. Extra pass out to Conti. Now Cole. And that's last touched by the Capitals.
I don't think you can give Southside 3 opportunities. They're eventually going to score if you, keep giving them those chances. But I have to say, both teams with 3.5 minutes to go look just a little bit fatigued, and it could be because of that frenetic pace we talked about in the first quarter, even the first half.
Has been up and down. Poch inside to Rocci. Again for 3. Long rebound. Thornton diving on it. Poch. Southside win it. Now Cole cutting to the hoop. Really, when you break down this ball game, it feels like the Caps have been thereabouts for almost 3/4 of it, Laurie, but that second quarter sort of let them down a little bit in the end. Seeing that 15-point margin as it is.
Nice pass.
And Cole finishes the business. Timeout on the floor.
And the thing about fatigue, and you can just see it starting to play a part, I think, especially in Canberra's game, is that it's not only the physical fatigue, mental fatigue starts to then play a part in your decision making. We can just see a couple of more turnovers. They're up to 16 right now, and in the third quarter they had done a good job of not having that many turnovers. And I feel now just that fatigue and not getting quite to the right spot on offense, not getting quite, just being a step behind on defense. And that's what I'm seeing right now with the Canberra team.
Chance for a breather now with this timeout brought to you by Aussie Hoops. At its biggest year to date, the Aussie Hoops program, 42,000 participants registered to a local Aussie Hoops clinic. Great to see so many youngsters supporting the game, getting around it. It's a great introduction to the world of basketball for kids aged 5 to 10 years. Whether you're a seasoned basketball fan or simply looking for a way to give it a go, no doubt you'll have a ball of a time at Aussie Hoops. Register now at aussiehoops.basketball to kickstart your journey. You speak of the turnover numbers as well, Laurie. 1 turnover at the half for Southside, 8 in the second, partly due to the increased Capitals defence. See if they can continue that intensity over the final 3:11 following this break.
I think, too, it'll be two contrasting thought processes right now. Capitals want to try and not let this margin blow out. You know, they've kept it sort of around that 10, 15 was the most that it went out to, so they want to make sure that they can try and keep it around that 10-point mark. And for Southside, they want to finish strongly. They want to make sure they leave their mark on this team and the league, that they're going to finish strongly.
Melbourne down low, Munga with the finish. So Munga now 15 in the ball game. Great efficiency too.
Double dribble, good pickup by the referee. Almost didn't see that. Maddie Rocci.
Capitals fans still getting right behind their team as well here at the National Convention Centre.
Well, if you look at Canberra's 6 games, the first 4 of them were, and I think I mentioned this, pretty big blowouts. 36 points to Townsville. They went down 35 to Perth, 35 to Melbourne. But their last 2 games have been 10 and 12. So again, if they can keep it here at this game against Southside to that 10-point margin, that'd be a great result for them.
Great hustle from Melbourne to force the steal. Now she'll wrap it up again. It's going to be Southside ball. $10-point margin, and then the 12-point margin last week against the Flames. Can they close out this game hard, the Capitals, and have another respectable result, Laurie? I know it's a term that many coaches hate to use.
Yeah. Honorable loss, whatever. Brave loss. Yeah, we don't like those, but that's what we use.
Cole ripping through, driving. Another bucket for Beck Cole. She's got 12.
She's another one that's just had a strong all-round performance. And, you know, when you look at Southside Flyers and their spread of scoring, 5 players in double figures, that's tough to defend. You know, when you look at who, and that's the beauty of this Flyers outfit, as we can see, Lauren Jackson has just stepped off the court, and she'll end up with 13 points. But hard to know. You have to really play team defense. You can't focus on 1 or 2 players with the Flyers.
Nadia Poch doubled. Munga was there. Bunton comes away with it.
Oh, see.
Poch again with the steal.
Just outdid all their hard work when they Poch came off that screen and they doubled her and she turned it over. You need to capitalize on those mistakes.
Small blow for the Flyers. It's the 3rd steal today, though, for Nadia Poch. She's got 10 points as well in just 19 minutes. Of course, if you've joined us late, Abby Bishop and Amy Rocci not in uniform today for the Southside Flyers. No good on the first. Poch splits a pair from the line. Pressing up now a Southside. Munga. Call here from the referee. Capitals ball. Foul call against Southside.
Personal foul number 3 for Taylor Thornton.
3rd personal of the afternoon for Thornton.
Munger finds herself at the foul line.
So both teams in the bonus, it seems. Munga up to 16. Caps have shot above 80% from the free throw line today. Another of their strengths so far this season, Laurie. They're 4th in the league in free throw rate. Do well in forcing their way to the line to create points. Poch takes Bunton off the dribble. 1 to come at the line.
And we haven't seen much of that from Poch. She shot quite a few threes today, and it's nice to see her put it to the dribble, go downhill straight to the basket. Good explosive first step.
She's had a great game off the bench. As we've mentioned, timeout on the floor, 18-point margin favouring the Southside Flyers.
You know, we talk about Jade Melbourne and being 20 years old. Potch is 18 years old. So she has so much upside to her as well. And think how much she'll be learning playing alongside the likes of Jackson Thornton, Blitzovs, Cole, Bishop. You know, they're just such quality players, and at a young age to have that experience to look up to and to emulate is just fantastic for her.
Great opportunity, no doubt. A defeat before Nadia Potch was even born. Lauren Jackson had won multiple WNBL championships.
Yeah, that's what another thing this article was talking about, is that the people that get her signature. She said, you know, she's had people that have old Canberra Capital singlets that she signs, and then she has young players that weren't even born when or young kids coming up to sign that weren't even born when she was, you know, playing earlier on.
Legacy extends far, there's no doubt about it. So the Flyers really right in the mix, obviously, for this top 4 spot. But there seems to be, do you think, 5 teams at this stage, Laurie, who really look like they'll be battling it out for the finals?
It is. It's you know, we were talking about this earlier. We're about a third of the way through the season, and I feel like certainly Bendigo sitting at 7-0, Melbourne, Townsville, throw in Southside now, and to me, Adelaide is the one team out of the bottom 4 that could press for a top 4 position. They've had some really, you know, close games against the top teams and have looked fairly impressive. So, and the other teams, while Perth, Sydney, and Canberra, I don't believe even at this stage will press for the top 4. I think they can beat some of those teams. I think they can upset them. I think they all have that ability and really shape who does make the top 4.
Absolutely. As we've spoken about today, the Capitals, once they get back to full strength, should be able to create some headaches later in the season. You know, the Perth Lynx have got plenty of firepower. And of course, stick around because Adelaide and Melbourne not far away too. That's going to be a ripper to round out round 6.
Well, we talk about, you know, Adelaide. Do they have the capability to challenge a Melbourne? And so that's a great game to look forward to shortly.
So Munga to the 3-throw line. 14 of 17 today as a team. Good on the first. So now the leading scorer in the ball game is Nicole Munga with 18. And they found one here, there's no doubt about that. Less than a minute to go now at the National Convention Centre. Rochi. Now Potch in the corner to round out a nice afternoon.
Oh, there we go.
Somehow the back shot from the corner. So Potch now up to 16 points in the ball game. Tried to find Burrell cutting to the hoop. Rochi was there. Draws the foul. Few smiles from Maddie Rochi. Lana Hollinsworth as well has checked in for her first minutes of the ball game for the Flyers.
Well, this will be a good win for the Flyers. You know, coming off an 8-day break. Well, it's not really a break, but 8 days. You know, you never know how your team's going to play. Down a couple of players, but they've other than the third quarter, you'd have to say they've been pretty rock solid. They'd be very happy with this win.
They fought back the rebounding column as well after being out-rebounded for much of the contest. They now lead that 42-39. Alex Bunton was causing them some headaches in the first half. Munga to go herself from 3. Hollinsworth hands off to Rochi. She can dribble out the clock here in Canberra. The Flyers venture to the nation's capital and come away with a 20-point victory in Lauren Jackson's return to Canberra. Southside 92, the UC Cap 72. Which is it?
Well, I think in the end that's probably a reasonable margin. You know, Canberra would maybe be a bit disappointed they weren't able to keep it sort of to that 10, 15-point march. But Southside are a great side. They've got so much scoring opportunities. And so I think Canberra can go away and say they gave it a good shot anyway.
They had 4 players in double figures. Jade Melbourne had a fantastic game, 17 points, 5 assists. And Nicole Munger led the way with 19 for the Capitals. From the Southside perspective, Beck Cole, she had 12 in the starting lineup. Kayla Thornton and Sarah Blitzard, 16 apiece. And Potch as well, off the pine. She had 16 as well to lead the way for the Flyers.
A couple of players that impressed me for the, for Canberra, even though they lost the game, was Munger with 19 points, but Alex Bunton. She battled all game. She ended up with 11 points and 8 rebounds. But she was up against the likes of Jackson and Thornton every single time down the floor at both ends of the court. So to me, she was really, really rock solid. And you could just see 20% from that 3-point line for the UC Capitals. It's not something that they've been great at all season, but certainly they were tried to get it in the paint, 32 in the paint, but 52 for Southside. They really pounded it in.
They did. Kayla Thornton was one of the reasons why she dominated that area. Stick around, because in 10 minutes' time, we are headed to Adelaide for the Lightning and the Melbourne Boomers. This is going to be a ripper. 2 teams in contention for the 4th. It's Southside by 20.